You are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxshall, in which I chronicle my life and attempts to become a professional writer by, doing some writing daily, hopefully. Hello, you're listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. It is today, Monday the 24th of June 2024, and I'm trying something a bit different today. So I am standing, I'm actually on Broadway walking down towards Times Square. And the reason I'm doing that is because although I've mentioned my job, I've rarely celebrated it. I tend to just mention that I'm a flight attendant and, here's a podcast that I recorded in a hotel room in, Beijing recently. So I thought today I would actually record it whilst out and about, having a little walk out somewhere interesting. This is actually the third take because for some reason it was trying to record it through headphones that I was wearing, but now I've taken the headphones off and turned off Bluetooth, it seems to be working absolutely perfectly. So I'm now walking down towards, behind me is the big famous Coca-Cola billboard with the Barclays Bank in the background. I've got a big screen showing Yankees, a Yankees match or a trailer for a Yankees match or something. Opposite me there's a big billboard showing Howard Stern, I don't know what that, James Corden, the hottest summer hits on Hulu, on Disney Plus. That's exciting. I'm right opposite the Disney store. So yeah, I thought today I would talk about my job and why I love it so much. So 10 years ago, I started this. Before that, I was a manager for Tesco. Now, I can't talk about some of the things that used to happen at Tesco, but as a customer, you would be horrified. I'm not going to say what they are, because I couldn't prove it anyway, and if anybody heard it, I would probably get sued, because I can't prove it happened, just as they can't prove it didn't. But the reality is any KPI, key performance indicator based business is going to have the same kind of issues when they set impossible goals or tasks. People will do slightly naughty things to be perceived to achieve them, and yes, I'm not saying that's what was happening, but it might have been. Anyway, so 10 years ago I left it and started a job working for an airline. And what's great about this is I actually enjoy coming to work again. I love my job. I enjoy coming to work. Yesterday I was recording my podcast from my living room in the UK. Today I'm actually walking down Broadway towards Times Square and recording the podcast, which is just incredible, isn't it? And the thing is, I haven't had to pay to come here. I've been paid. Now, there are places around the world I would pay to go to that I've visited. I've visited Singapore a lot, and I could go there a lot more because I absolutely love it. New York is quite interesting as well, to be honest. I'm not a big fan of America, but there are other places that I've been. For example, Las Vegas, which it's a bin. I would never pay to go there, but I'm so pleased I've actually been able to go because work paid me to go. So all the stuff that I would, quite like to have seen, like it's getting a bit blowy, things like the, the sign and the various buildings and the lights at the various hotels and bits and pieces. I've not had to pay to go and see that, which is pretty damn cool, isn't it? So I suppose, I mention it a few times, but I never really celebrate how wonderful it is what I get to do. So this month I'm going to various other places. I've got some live music playing behind me, so I might move away from that because I don't have the rights to it. Later in the month I'm going to Sao Paulo, Brazil. I'll be doing Singapore and Sydney. I've got a couple of places in Europe. And I've got Abuja in Nigeria. Some interesting places and some wonderful places that I just would never have been to, or even thought about going to if it hadn't been for this job. I don't think it is exaggeration to say that it saved me, because when I left Tesco I was in a very dark place, and now I enjoy coming to work again. And also it does influence my writing, because obviously it's a writing podcast, although this isn't much about writing. It does influence my writing because obviously some of the places I visit actually get featured in the book. So the English Hikikomori actually featured somewhere I'd been on a holiday, but I wanted to make sure I'd got the details right. So on one of my work trips, I actually then went and visited the place and had a look around to make sure the details were correct, and I hadn't enough to pay to do that. I did a bit of research for my book whilst being at work, which is absolutely incredible. So, yeah, sorry if this sounds a little bit like I get to do this for free, it really did save my life to some degree. I probably sound a bit like I'm exaggerating, a bit melodramatic there, but I genuinely believe that it did 10 years ago when I started doing it, and I still enjoy the flights and the work and everything now. So what am I doing today? Well, we're only here for a very short period of time today. We are basically here for about 16 hours, then we fly back tomorrow. Then I've got a few days off. So tomorrow I'm going to be very tired because we don't finish work till about 8:15. Then I've got to drive home, so it'll be nearly 10 o'clock. So what I'll probably do is record another podcast in my hotel room later to drop tomorrow, just so that I do one tomorrow, because otherwise I'll probably struggle, if I'm honest. And then, yeah, from Wednesday to Saturday I'm not working, and I fully intend to do a bit more work on Empress of the Tree. So a couple of podcasts ago, or maybe it was yesterday, I don't know, I did say I had kind of two options now. I could either go and finish the final draft of Still Life, or complete the first draft of Empress of the Trees. And I think, on reflection, I'm very close to those characters. I've been rereading that and editing what I've written so far, and I'm very close to the characters, and I kind of want to know how that story ends, because although I've got some ideas, I literally don't know how it ends until I finish writing it, because that's the nature of writing. So that's my plan for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, is to carry on working on that. And yeah, that's about it really. So thank you so much for listening. I will be back at some point tomorrow, probably with, as I say, another little podcast from New York, and then back home doing normal stuff for the rest of the week. Thank you for listening. Take care. Bye-bye. Oh, one thing I forgot to say is that I'm actually recording this in Times Square, but I'm also going to edit and upload it in Times Square. So if you listen to this podcast within 10 minutes of it coming up, chances are I'm still here. Thank you. I meant to say that in the main body. I did on the previous takes, but forgot this time. So thank you for listening. Take care. Bye-bye. You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxall. Thank you for tuning in to my random ramblings, and if you'd like to know more about me or my projects, visit my link tree at linktr.ee/Richard Wright, capital R, capital W. Thank you for listening.